JIT-TV, just in time.
Sanbanan Babugela Makai and a very warm welcome to JIT-TV News, where we bring you nothing but politics, business, sports, and also entertainment, all in one experience. Kamala Mandile Gugulet, Ntombi Wagcindi, Umahlaba. Let's take a look at your headlines for today. President Mnangagwa arrives in Botswana for the 5th edition of the annual Goosey Ideas Festival. Zimbabwe makes major gas discovery in Mbere. Under 21 lose again at Hockey World Cup. Now, President Mnangagwa arrived for the 5th edition of annual Goosey Ideas Festival, which was co-hosted by the National Media Group of Kenya and the government of Botswana. Now, he was met at the Seretse Khama International Airport by Zimbabwe's ambassador to Botswana, Badira She Henry Mukono Shuro, and Botswana's Transport and Public Works Minister, Eric Molale. Now, this event is running under the theme Africa's Agenda 2063, making the dream come true. Now, the president was expected to take part in a presidential roundtable discussion yesterday to discuss challenges facing Africa, as well as possible solutions and innovations needed to promote inclusive and sustainable development.
It is necessary that we develop our mining sector. But in the process of developing our mining sector, the maximum benefit should come to Zimbabwe, not to those who are developing it. Because to develop our mining sector, we need global capital, global skills, and global technology. But these three put together should not lead to them benefiting more than us.
Now, African National Congress stalwart and deputy president of the ANC Veterans League, Mavuso Msimang, resigned from the ruling party after more than 60 years. Msimang cited corruption as one of the reasons that led him to leaving ANC. He said corruption was pervasive in government and state-owned entities like Transnet and Eskom, that it was affecting the economic performance of the country. Now, he said load shedding at Eskom has severely impacted the economy drastically.
I think the reliance on people of shady characters, the keeping company with those people, is what has cost the president the reputation that he had. But you know, you're talking about supporting him. I thought he was working something out. I think the president's greatest failure has been to hope you can negotiate things with people who are essentially out to destroy. You will not renew the ANC with some of the people there, and he ought to know that.
Welcome to Zambezi River Lodge, Victoria Falls. Nestled on the banks of the mighty Zambezi River, right on the edge of the national park, Zambezi occupies the most unique and finest spot with the tranquility and seclusion every traveler seeks. Each of its well-appointed rooms is either garden or river facing, allowing you to soak in the serenity of the environment. The award-winning restaurant Amlonga offers delectable cuisine, which includes our famous high teas. To explore Victoria Falls from this fine location, book any of our packages now. Zambezi River Lodge. Relax, refresh, replenish.
Let's take a look now at the African news for today. Now, Uganda is examining a law that would ban the sale of used clothes. Now, discarded by Europeans and Americans, these clothes are often purchased from wholesalers and then shipped to African countries. It's a multi-million-dollar business, but despite the popularity, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni said he wanted to ban the imports to boost the growth of local textile industries.
So we have cotton. We can produce all these things that we are talking about in the second-hand market here in Uganda. And we have companies that have started producing. If you go to Mbale Industrial Park, if you go to Fine Spinners, Naitiru, and others that are coming on, can be able to replace this thing, rather these second-hand clothings, in a very pretty short time.
And now on to the international news for today. Now, leaked audio recordings of a meeting between freed Israel hostages and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have revealed considerable anger at the government's conduct, as well as the enduring terror of captivity by Hamas in Gaza. Now, audio of the meeting between the former hostages, relatives of some still being held, and Israel's war cabinet on Tuesday was leaked, with parts of it published on Israel news site Ynet. Now, it comes amid building pressure on Netanyahu to secure the release of the remaining captives and scrutiny of Israel's intensifying military campaign in Gaza. Now let us quickly get down now to the business side of news for today. Now, Australian firm Invictus Energy and its local partner, One Gas Resources, have discovered condensate gas at the Muguyu 2 exploration site in Bire, Mashonaland Central Province, north of Zimbabwe. Now, in a development the company described as a potential game changer for Zimbabwe's economic growth and the country's energy security, among other benefits. Now, Mines and Mining Development Minister Zemosoda made the announcement on Wednesday, saying the major gas discovery represented one of the most significant developments in the onshore oil and gas sector in the southern African region. This marks one of the most successful exploration programs in Africa, given the companies managed to find the hydrocarbons at the first instance of exploration drilling, compared to hundreds of attempts made elsewhere on the continent before movable deposits were actually confirmed. Now, according to the National Treasury, tertiary education funding will be cut by about 13.7 billion rands. This may result in thousands of students being left unfunded by the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. Now, the scheme is believed to have consulted with Treasury on the matter. ULSRC President Kujo Mamabolo says they reject this budget cut, given that the country is battling a high unemployment rate and there's scores of young people who are unable to pursue tertiary education. He says that the government must increase budgets in the tertiary and basic education sectors because they are struggling compared to other African countries and education sectors across the world.
I think I probably should start by saying we absolutely condemn this move by Treasury and generally the government. It will have a devastating impact, and unfortunately it will have a devastating impact on the poor and the working class, because this budget is not just cut out from anywhere, it is cut out from the poor. This is 13 billion rand that was meant to service the poor, not for their entertainment, but to ensure that they are given the best opportunity to pull themselves out of the clutches of poverty, as we have seen many. In fact, numbers tell us that it is less than 15% of graduates that are unemployed, as opposed to the over 60% unemployment rate amongst non-graduates. So really, this is obviously in the short term, it means that we are likely to have thousands of students that either will lose their funding through systematic measures like them not being reinstated after their funding would have fallen for whatever reason, number one. Number two, we will obviously see far less students that will be accepted next year that will be having spaces in institutions of higher learning. That will be in the short term. And in the long term, as I have already said, we are going to sit with potential hundreds and thousands of families that would have otherwise had an opportunity to acquire education will not be, and which means obviously they will remain languishing in poverty.
At Hewlett's, we believe in a sweet future. A sweet future for our country, planet, and community.
Protec was founded in 1982 with the mission of assisting previously disadvantaged youth for successful entry into STEM-based careers. Protec Tongaat opened its doors in 1991, and from day one, Tongaat Hewlett has played a vital role in ensuring our continued success and growth. Each year, Protec Tongaat supports approximately 120 learners from grades 10 to 12 with an aptitude in maths and science from low socioeconomic backgrounds.
We get career exposure with site visits, career counseling, and job shadowing to help us make a more informed career choice.
Studying at Protec has allowed me to rank in the top 10 performing electrical engineering graduates at the UT.
Growing a sweet future is not only about financial support, it is also about creating opportunities. Tongaat Hewlett has employed 33 Protec engineering students and have been a partner of Protec for over 30 years, and our support will continue into the future.
We are growing a sweet future! Yay!
Hewlett's, growing a sweet future.
Let's take a look at your JIT-TV news with a focus. And now on your sports news. Now it never rains but pours for the Zimbabwe under-21 girls hockey team as they suffered their fourth straight defeat at the ongoing 2023 International Hockey Federation Hockey Women's Junior World Cup in the early hours of Wednesday morning. But coming from 3 straight defeats in the group stages, Zimbabwe lost their plate match 2-0 against the host Chile. Now the host city for the World Cup is Santiago. And finally, on your entertainment side of news, of course, it is a Friday. Now, the event showcased the best and brightest in the industry in their most respected categories and also featured a keynote speech from guest of honor, Deputy Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion, David Mnangagwa. Now, panel discussions on the latest trends and networking opportunities. Now, according to the organizers, the Capital Markets Award ceremony is an opportunity to network with industry peers and celebrate the success of the capital market industry. Now, Financial Markets Indaba Managing Director Patrick Muzondo said hosting the Capital Markets Awards was a strategic and impactful initiative that plays a pivotal role in shaping the dynamics of the financial industry. And that is all from me to you. A huge thank you for joining me today. As always, kindly please comment and follow us on all our social media platforms on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also TikTok. Or rather, you can go to our website at www.JIT-TVzw. Signing out, it is Andile Guguletsi Ntombi Kwagcindu Mahlaba. Have yourselves an amazing day.
JIT-TV, just in time.
Zimbabwe, nyika yakanaka. Zimbabwe is a landlocked country between the Zambezi and Limpopo rivers, surrounded by SADC countries like South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, and Mozambique. The name Zimbabwe stems from a Shona term for Great Zimbabwe. It's the ruins of an ancient city dating back to between the 11th and 15th centuries, are made entirely of stone and span over 1,800 acres. Ask us about arranging a visit here. The highlands are known for their natural environment, with tourist destinations such as Nyanga, Chimanimane, Vumba, and Chirinda Forest at Mount Selinda. Victoria Falls, one of the 7 wonders and one of the world's biggest and most spectacular waterfalls, is located in the country's extreme northwest and is part of the Zambezi River. The Victoria Falls National Park is also in this area and is one of the 8 main national parks in Zimbabwe, the largest of which is Hwange National Park. Matobo Hills National Park is one of the country's most interesting parks from a cultural perspective. It's not only very scenic, it also has a rich human history. Once inhabited by Bushmen, there's a superb collection of well-preserved rock art dating back at least 13,000 years. Lake Kariba is one of the biggest man lakes that is famous for the mystical creature Nyami Nyami and is a popular African travel destination. Zimbabwe is showing a steady growth path economically according to the World Bank review. This is a significant improvement after a 2-year recession due to COVID-19 and other factors. Zimbabwe's agriculture has taken its status of being the breadbasket of Africa, with its land reform program showing phenomenal signs of growth and yields produced by Zimbabweans for Zimbabweans. Land is certainly a good story to tell. Zimbabwe is now the fastest growing third world country in Africa and the world at large. Zimbabwe, Musha Wakanaka. Zimbabwe is blessed with amazing fauna and flora, minerals, and many natural resources. It is one of the world's biggest producers of gold and the 3rd biggest producers of platinum. The mining sector remains very lucrative, with some of the world's largest platinum reserves being mined. The Marange diamond fields, discovered in 2006, are considered the biggest diamond find in over a century. So if you need a world-class African country to do business while touring this majestic landscape and seeing the Big 5, Zimbabwe is the destination of choice. Zimbabwe. Zimba Zimbabwe.